It's so obvious, this whole product placement, this sponsorship that Lisa has with Wendy's. It's cute. She pulls up to Wendy's and she's like, "Hi, baby gorgeous. Can I get 3 milkshakes and a Diet Coke and some nuggets? I love nuggets. Make it spicy." Do you want anything, Heather? Hey, everybody. Welcome to my channel. I am Raphael, and I'm here to review Season 5, Episode 2 of The Real Housewives Who Are Proud to Be a Best Friend on Instagram of Salt Lake City. We start the episode off with Lisa in her car, and she's driving around in circles. Bronwyn is her passenger princess, and Lisa is still upset about the situation between her, Whitney, and now Angie K from last week. So she's venting to Bronwyn, and she's like, "Well, you know what, Bron? Can I call you Bron? I love Bron. It's such a cute nickname, right? Okay, we're gonna call you Bron. I love it. You know what, Bron? I just can't stand that Whitney was on a podcast talking bad about me for a whole hour, and she had the nerve to call me a villain. Like, a villain. Like, can you believe that? You can't believe that either, right? Like, I don't love that. Everybody loves Lisa Barlow. Like, you love Lisa, right? Okay, good. You better. I love that, Bron. I love it. But you want to go get Heather and go get Wendy's? All of a sudden, out of the blue, Angie K just so happens to be calling right then and there, right? So Lisa, she's like, "Oh my God, Bron, should I pick up? Okay, I'm going to pick up. Shh, give me a second. Hey, Angie K, what's going on? What's happening?"
"Hey, Lisa, how are you? I was wondering if you wanted to get together to discuss
totally can't
the
stand her.
issue
I hate her.
between each other, maybe later."
I would be open to that idea, but I'm not really sure about my schedule. Let me get back to you and let me call you back to see if I'm available in the afternoon, okay? Bye, Angie K. Love you. Mwah. Ugh, can't stand her, so fucking fake. And unfortunately, they drive by Heather's house to pick her up to go get Wendy's. But Heather comes out the house dressed like a hot mess. No effort put into it whatsoever. She was wearing a long sleeve collared cheetah print shirt, some green baggy camouflage pants, and some red sneakers. Like, if I'm Lisa, I would have told her, like, "Baby gorgeous, you know I love you and all, but get the fuck out of my car." As a matter of fact, if I'm Lisa, now I'm driving to the nearest car wash to clean this contamination because you just contaminated my entire vehicle with your tacky outfit. Like, we're going to Wendy's, not hunting, Heather. And I would have also kicked Bronwyn out the car too, simply because of how her house looks, but we'll get to that. So, speaking of Wendy's, it's so obvious, this whole product placement, this sponsorship that Lisa has with Wendy's. It's cute. She pulls up to Wendy's and she's like, "Hi, baby gorgeous. Can I get 3 milkshakes and a Diet Coke and some nuggets? I love nuggets. Make it spicy." Do you want anything, Heather? So eventually they start driving, they're eating, and Bronwyn, she starts talking about, the whole situation with Whitney. She thinks that Whitney's monologue that she told Lisa about the new Hill Whitney last week was all rehearsed. She practiced it, which I can definitely see that. Why? Because I feel like truly from the bottom of my heart, I truly don't think that Whitney knows which one is the middle finger. I feel like she practiced over and over and over the night before with her husband in her room. She was probably in front of the mirror like,
"Okay, so this is what I'm going to say to Lisa. You want to know who the real Hill Whitney is? Well, guess what? F Lisa Barlow." That's how it goes, right, babe? Okay, so which one is the middle finger? I need to get it correct, okay? Eeny, meeny, miny. Is it this one?
Like, I could just see her just processing as she's going at it with Lisa, like, "Please make sure that you stick up the right finger or else you're going to make a fool out of yourself." So I can definitely see that. But meanwhile, Heather in the back seat, she's observing Bronwyn like, she's talking bad about my cousin. And then in the confessional, she's like, "I've been burned by people like her before." And then we flash back to Monica. And can we stop using the flashbacks of Monica if she's not going to be on the show anymore? Thank you. And Heather, you could just tell that she is just itching. She is so desperate to recreate that whole entire moment that she had with Monica at the finale last season again. Like, she wants to have an issue with Bronwyn so badly. She wants to expose her, and clearly it flops in the end, but we'll get to that. We also see Mary at her house with her son Robert, and she says that he's not in college, he has no money, but she's okay with him staying at her house. And if I was Robert, I will feel some type of way about my mom describing me this way on TV. Like, can you at least lie for me? And is he still married, or is that not a thing anymore? Like, where's his wife? And I like that we're getting a much more in-depth look at Mary's life this season. Then we see Meredith and her husband Zeph, which I completely forgot that they were married. I forgot that he was a thing. So they're going to this place to cook an Israeli dish. It's like pasta or something. So after they cook, they sit down to eat. Meredith explains to Zeph,
"Well, honey, I was thinking lately I wanted to get more in tune with my heritage. So I thought Well, why not get bar mitzvah? You know, I know it's not very typical of me, my age right now, but, you know, better late than never. What do you think, honey?
So then Zeph, he starts crying about it. He's proud of her. She starts crying about it. And, you know, all I'm going to say is it feels that she's reaching for a storyline and she has to come up with something in 5 minutes. And this is it. But, you know, if this is what she wants to do, then so be it. Angie K and Lisa meet up at this restaurant, and Lisa tells her that she doesn't like that she has conversations with her in confidence. And then she opens up her mouth to Whitney, of all people, and tell her these same conversations. And yeah, I can see Lisa's point, because Angie, that does look bad. It does look messy. Angie's excuse is, well, I mean, I just wanted to let Whitney know that, you know, she hurt Lisa's feelings and that she owed her an apology so things could be better between them. And I mean, I could also see Angie's point to a certain extent, but like, Angie, who are you to get in between their issues? Like, yeah, you're trying to show Lisa that you're a good friend, but show her differently. Buy her a car, buy her some Gucci shoes, buy her something else. But, you know, don't get in between her and Whitney, because you should already know. We already know how Lisa is. She's very reactive. She's going to look at you as the enemy instead of Whitney. And now look. So as Angie's trying to explain herself, Lisa just bulldozes over her. She's basically yelling at Angie, and Angie's trying to get in a word, but Lisa, this is the Lisa show. It's not the Angie show. And Angie's just like,
No, Angie, no, you don't do that behind my back. I thought we were closer friends. Why are you talking about Whitney
Lisa,
about what I told you? No, Angie, no, it's
Lisa,
absolutely not. I'm not the villain. I'm
Lisa.
not. Like,
I'm like, Angie, if you don't get the backbone that you had against Meredith last week against Lisa, like, I get it that you're trying to be cool with her, but no, you see how she's speaking to you just because you were trying to make things right between her and Whitney. Like, yeah, you shouldn't have done that, but like, look how she's treating you. And you're just okay with that. Lisa's like, you know what? If everybody wants to think that I'm self-centered and that I'm the villain, then go ahead, I'll be the villain. But you know what? I'm not doing this. I love you, baby gorgeous. I love you, Angie, but I'm not doing this anymore. Give me my Coke. I'm leaving. We head over to Bronwyn's house, and I do use the word house very loosely. But before that, I just want to apologize for anything I've ever said in my previous reviews about Giselle Bryant's house and the way she decorates it. Because Bronwyn, what was this? What was this? I mean, the camera was just showing the whole entire house to us, and I'm just looking around like, what is this? What is, why would she do that? Is that the kitchen? Is that the living room? Oh my God, what is, oh my, please get me out of here. Like, my blood pressure was just going higher and higher the more they kept, it was just too much. You know, I just felt like I was at Coachella and a Pride Festival all at once. Like, did you even try to decorate it nicely? Like, she probably just closed her eyes and said, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, let me just get this. Like, that was crazy. It was just way too overstimulating. Like, I can't imagine waking up in this big ass house, then going downstairs, the eyes barely open, and then boom, every single color of the rainbow is just staring back at you at 8 o'clock in the morning. Like, that is too much. Then we see Santa Claus, aka her husband. She gives us a backstory of how they met. They were at a bar. He went up to her. He asked her for her email. She thought, okay, maybe he wants to do business. He wants to work together. Email, I don't get it. Come to find out, it's because he was old. He doesn't really know how to use a phone or text. So email is the next best thing, which I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that, because what if somebody came up to me at the bar asking for that? I'll probably be a little bit turned on. Like, oh, what, daddy, you want my email? It's iamraphael@gmail.com. But then how do you even communicate with that? You know, like, hey, to whoever this may concern, I hope this finds you well. Like, imagine trying to be naughty through email. You put the subject line, time to get nasty, and then you get your laptop, right? To whoever this may concern, let me see. Hey, baby, I want to see you in that red thong tonight, and also with whipped cream, double space, and let me attach a picture. Like, that sounds crazy. Wait. Send. And then you just wait around like, okay, you know, maybe something will happen tonight. But, you know, very interesting concept, though. I like it. But you also find out that he's the CEO of Palm Pilots, you know, the little contraptions of the early 2000s. So his money is money. Like, they actually have money. Unlike the rest of this cast, whose money is very suspicious money, her money is clean so far. Then we have an interior decorator. He comes on over and I'm like, oh, so you're responsible for this roller coaster of a house. Security, that one right there, jail. Like, Bronwyn, you need to fire him and get with somebody else because, yeah, this man is looking for your downfall. And then she opens up this gift with 3 wooden chairs stacked on top of each other. And she's amazed by it. And she's like, oh, yeah, this is in a museum. Oh, Bronwyn, they just lie to you. Everywhere you shop, they're just lying to you just so you could buy something. First, last week, oh yeah, only you and Rihanna have this coat. You bought it. And now you're buying 3 wooden chairs? Like a janitor could have done the same thing for you for free. But okay, but yeah, her house was definitely something to look at. Very interesting. Heather and Whitney go to this crystal place to get some crystals to realign their life and their peace. Spoiler alert, it's not gonna work. And Whitney, she says,
well, ever since the situation with me and Lisa Barlow, I've been all up in my feels. And, I don't know. I just don't like that Lisa was kind of throwing the whole healing journey that I went through in my face. And I just don't like that. Like, maybe we could be friends again.
Heather, she was just like, well, I understand, your situation with Lisa, but Whitney, you do cause a lot of mess. But you know what? Let's put the situation with Whitney and Lisa to the side for a second. Heather, let's talk about you because she wants to point all these fingers at Whitney, rightfully so. But what about you? We just found out at the reunion that you tried to basically throw production underneath the bus and blame them for the black eye incident, and yet you're still on the show when you know that you should have been fired. So it's just very, very, very hypocritical of Heather specifically to call anybody a liar or to go after anybody on the show for something wrong that they did. Like, where's your moral compass for your actions? Like, how funny is that? Whitney, she also surprises. Again, I'm using that word very loosely. She's like,
well, Heather, I may be all up in my feels, but I'm also planning a trip for everybody to go to Milwaukee.
And I'm like, Milwaukee? Who the hell wants to go to walkie-talkie? Like, what? Like, Milwaukee? Like, where is that? Like, Jen is finally in jail. We could go to Miami. We could go to Mexico. But no, she wants to go to walkie-talkie. And then on top of that, she's like,
oh, yeah, and we're going to go to Trixie's bar.
Who the hell wants to see Trixie? Like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And she's like, oh, yeah, I'm also inviting Bronwyn. Heather, that's when her red flag goes up. And she's like, in the confessional, she's just remembering, her and Whitney seem to be cool all of a sudden. But just a second ago, she was talking bad about Whitney. And already, again, she's doing the same thing that she did with Monica, except she's being more obvious. Then we head over to Meredith's rental. She's in the kitchen. And for a second, I thought she was making drugs or something like that. I'm like, what is going on here? All that white substance and just mixing everything. I'm like, this looks suspicious. And she's there with her daughter, Chloe, and then the returning friend of previous seasons, Brooks. He's also there. So Meredith, she tells both of them,
but you know what? I have an issue with Whitney Rose because Whitney has been trying to take my idea from me. And everybody knows that I'm known for the bath bombs and the baths.
So Chloe, she was just like, oh, really? Like, really? So, like, what are you going to do about it? And Brooks, he gives her some goggles to protect her eyes from the substance. And he also says, oh, but Mom, like, what exactly is going to happen between you and Whitney? Like, I mean, I get it, but, like, is it really that serious? So then Meredith also announces to both of them,
well, you know what, guys? Besides that, because I'm going to settle my issues with Whitney eventually, but I've been thinking of getting a bat mitzvah. What do both of you think?
And Brooks, he said it perfectly for all of us. Mom, are you, like, serious? So, like, people really don't do that at your age. Even he saw through the BS. I'm like, yeah, Meredith, you're just grasping at straws with this. But again, if she wants to do that, then fine. So everyone gets together for this rope course activity. Whitney and Lisa are still not speaking to each other. Then we see the chaotic friend of Britney. She shows up and Mary sees her. She's like, God, please give me the strength to deal with her today. And Britney, she's like, I just don't understand what I did to Mary. Why is she so rude to me? Maybe it's because Britney, walk with me. Maybe it's because you assumed she was poor last episode. Maybe that has something to do with it, but okay. Mary in the confessional. She's like, Britney, she's not the sharpest knife in the drawer, nor is she the sharpest spoon. I have never heard that one, the sharpest spoon. Now, what does that say about Britney? But eventually they all go through the chorus, and I've done one of these before, and it looks simple and easy from the ground up, but once you're up there, it is so, so scary. I remember just I felt like I had diarrhea. Like, I felt like I was just gonna like fall off and just lose my balance, and that's what Whitney was kind of doing. Like, Whitney was just like,
Meredith, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do hand jobs after this.
and I'm like, I thought this was a classy party, like. Like, who is mentioning anything about hand? You know what? And first of all, who even gives a hand? You know, like, it's all about sucking nowadays. Like, not hand. Meredith was offended. She's like,
Excuse me, Whitney, how dare you talk like that? Please, that's nasty language. There's kids around here, you slut.
and then the producers asked Whitney, Whitney, why would you ever have to have your hands in the air for a hand job? And first of all, producer, if you're boring, just say that. You know, because for all my real nasty bitches out there, you know, you'll know when you have to put your hands up in the air, you know, over your head to do a handy, you know what, like, you know, if you know, you know. After the course, they sit down to eat some snacks, and unprovoked, chaotic Britney, she gets up and she's like, I want to do a toast to my new relationship with my ex-boyfriend. We're back together, and he actually just made it Instagram official. Oh, she's one of those, isn't she? Then we see the post, and it's a picture of both of them in Costco. First of all, Britney, you are a grown woman. Why are you sitting in the shopping cart? And the caption was, in Costco with my best friend. Best friend. Britney, come over here. Britney, come over here. Come over here. Just come over here for a second. Come over here. Sit your ass down. With your best friend. Best friend my ass. That is code word for, oh no, me and you, we could do X, Y, and Z. We could portray as a couple, but I have other bitches on the side. And if you catch me with any of them, then I can just throw it in your face and say, whoa, slow it down. We were never official. This was never a serious thing. We were just best friends. What are you talking about? And now he's gonna gaslight you into thinking that you two were something else. So, and if you're gonna make an Instagram official with me, you have to be very specific and none of that vague BS, because I've seen people trying to sneak somebody onto their Instagram feed after being single for years. All of a sudden, they just pop up with somebody else with the caption like, with him on vacation. Like, who the hell is him? And why are you two on vacation? Like, what's the backstory here? How did you two meet? How did you two decide to go on vacation? Like, how long have you two been together? What's his favorite color? I need to know that. You know, with me, you could post a picture of me, you know, and you know, we together. And then the caption could be something like, you know, with my loving, beautiful, amazing, handsome, no. With my beautiful, loving, handsome, very, 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 very handsome boyfriend, Raphael. Then you could tag me, hashtag boyfriends, hashtag I'm his, hashtag he's mine, hashtag he's mine again. And then you could post it. You know, you have to be very specific. But Britney, you're over here just melting just because somebody called you your best friend. Like, how old are you again? So then Mary, she was just like, okay, what does this matter? Like, why do we care? And I'm like, Mary. I mean, she does have a point though, because it just came out of nowhere. Like, Britney, we don't even know you like that, and you're announcing this. On top of that, this is an embarrassment. You know, and Mary, I'm not even upset with how she was. Yeah, it was rude, but I'm not even upset with it because she's only acting like this because of what you said last week about her being poor. So you should have chose your words better. So Britney's just like, wow, Mary, that's so rude. You don't want to get to know me? No. Heather tries to jump in again, of course. And she's like, Mary, you don't want to get to know her? Like, she's trying to be a friend of the group. Like, you know, you don't want to get to know her? Mary's just like, no, I don't want to get to know her. So Britney's just like, wow, that's crazy. What if I want to get to know you? Or I don't want to get to know you anymore or ask you questions about you? Mary's just like, okay, it's fine. I didn't ask you to. And I'm like, Britney, you're running out of excuses. So then I believe Britney kind of pivoted the conversation to her daughters. And she's like, you know, two of my daughters right now, they're not really speaking to me. And, you know, I believe they question her on it. And she's like, no, I really don't want to talk about it. That's too personal. And I cannot stand somebody who's like that. Like, Britney is the type of persona that I cannot have around me. Like, too chaotic, too toxic, and now you want to play games like this. Like, you want to talk about your boyfriend or whatever you want to call this, a situationship, right? you want to put that on display like Melissa Gorga. And then the second that you want to talk about something real personal, all of a sudden it's, oh, no, I don't want to talk about it. Like, that's too much. Mary called you out perfectly. Okay, but you're over here talking about your boyfriend. You should be making amends with your daughters. And I'm like, I mean, I was thinking it. She said it. And Britney's just like, I'm a kind person. Mary is just like, okay, well, you should be kind to your daughters. Now, see, Britney started getting all emotional instead of just going back at Mary and saying, okay, you want to talk about my relationship with my daughters. What about your relationship with your son? You're no one to talk either because your son, he just got married and you didn't even know that. He did it behind your back because he doesn't really feel comfortable to talk to you about anything. So who are you to say anything, Mary? If you really want to put it out there, then we're both bad mothers, and that's that. But, Britney, she got emotional, and she was just like, don't talk about my kids. Shut up. And Mary was just like, make me shut up. And I'm like, wow, Mary came activated. Like, that is crazy. Like, Mary came really activated. She's like, make me shut up. And Britney, wah, wah, wah. She didn't say anything. And then Bronwyn, she was just like, okay, Mary, tag me in. Because Mary had told Britney, yeah, you need to find some healing. You need to find some help. And Bronwyn, she was just like, yeah, I kind of agree because your energy is just chaotic. That's all you bring in. Unfortunately, Britney, I mean, it's only been 2 episodes and yeah, you're a lot. You're very toxic with your own life from what you're sharing to us. And, that's just not a really good way to live. I mean, it is, when you're in your 20s, but... But when you're of your age, yeah, you need to get it together. And then Heather, again, she sticks up and she's like, first of all, Bronwyn, no, because if we're going to be calling her out for her words and what she's saying, we need to call you out too. And I'm like, here she goes. She's trying to make a Monica moment, right? She was just like, because I heard that you had some comments to say about Whitney when we were in the car together with Lisa. So why don't you get your facts straight? And I'm like, I can't. One thing about Heather, I cannot stand when she feels like she's the baddest bitch on this show. All of a sudden now she wants to talk, down to Bronwyn and she's yelling at her right next to her. And yeah, at this point, I need Jen Shah to get out of jail and come back to the show because Heather, I want you to have that same energy with Jen. Because she feels like she's the new Jen of the show and it's just like, you're not. So eventually Bronwyn was just like, what are you talking about? Me and Whitney, we already squashed that. And then we see it in the flashback that, yeah, Bronwyn, she said what she said in Lisa's car to Whitney's face. Even though she said it a little bit nicer, I feel like she was a little bit more shadier in Lisa's car. Like, oh, I feel like she was like practicing her lines as opposed to Whitney. Oh, I felt like you were practicing on your lines. So I don't know Bronwyn, but at least she was honest to Whitney, and they were fine. So Heather, she ends up looking stupid because Angie K, she pops up and she's like, Heather, first of all, they already discussed their issues and everything is fine between them. And Heather just wanted to have a moment so badly. And she was just like, oh, but Bronwyn. I'm like, Heather, womp, womp, womp. Just like your little chaotic bestie, you also flopped trying to make a moment out of something. And Bronwyn, she just cleared it up in 2 seconds. Like, okay, what about it? So then the focus shifted from that to Whitney and Lisa. I believe I forgot how they got into the issue, but Lisa, she started going off and she's like, first of all, Whitney, you shouldn't be on a podcast. And I'm like, can we stop talking about podcasts for 1 second? You need to stop talking about me on a podcast, Whitney, because that's all you talked about me. You talked about me being a villain and I just don't appreciate that. You're always saying that. You're always trying to make me out to be the bad guy. Whitney was just like,
but Lisa, I was just speaking my truth and I just feel like, you don't like it when other people want to speak their truth. And I need to speak my truth. And that's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying?
Here goes Meredith.
Yes, I agree with Lisa. You make me feel the same way.
I'm like, Meredith, shut up. Like, Meredith just wanted to be a part of something so badly. But eventually, Whitney was just like,
okay, Lisa, I apologize. You could come over tomorrow and we could play Barbie dolls or something, okay?
Lisa was just like, okay, fine. That was that. I'll accept her apology, but I really just don't, mess around with her like that now. And then Meredith, again in the confessional, I can also use an apology. Like, Meredith, for what is she apologizing to you? Like, Lisa, I guess is somewhat understandable, but you, because of the bath bomb situation, it's never that serious. Like, okay, so then Whitney, she finally gets up and she's like, okay, guys, so I have this trip going on and we're all gonna go to Milwaukee. I'm like, Whitney, sit down. Nobody wants to go to Walkie Talkie. And she's like, oh, we're also gonna, go to this bar, to Trixie's bar. Nobody wants to go to Trixie's bar either. You know, and then everybody's just like, oh, okay. I mean, I guess we'll go to Milwaukee. I guess. Here goes Meredith. I'm not really sure if I'm gonna be able to go to Milwaukee. You know, I still need to think about it. And then in the confessional, she's like, it's not necessarily that I don't want to go to Walkie Talkie. It's just I don't want to go to Walkie Talkie with Whitney specifically. And then we see Whitney in the confessional. Well, don't come. And that was that. That was crazy though. This whole thing went from 0 to 100 out of nowhere. But again, what else can you expect with this cast, right? But let me know what you all thought about this whole entire episode. Do you think that it's okay for somebody to claim you as a best friend on Instagram to make it official? Let me know down in the comments. Bye, everybody. Mwah. I wish somebody would do that. Best friend. Bye, everybody. Mwah.